Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, April the 7th. We are well starting into the second quarter of the year, the business year. Welcome to our leadership development call. My name is Miriam Kareem. So happy to have everybody here so that we can learn to grow our businesses from our amazing coaching entourage. Tonight we have Seymour Greenidge Blake. I'm sure it's going to be very, very impactful. So really, just get yourself in the mindset to really receive his information that he's going to share with us. But first, we have a quick trip to the newbie corner. So today I want to talk about something that completely shifted my perspective this week. And that's basically something that Coach Will has said it, Coach Marcus has said it, all of our coaches have told us this. We've read this in books, everything, and that the money that you make, a lot of it is not in the new people. It's in the follow-up. And I'm going to tell you a quick story, something that happened to me yesterday. So this week, I call it my CEO block. I have like a block of dedicated time that I work my business. And instead of only focusing on new customers, I went back. I started as I was going through people, I was like, hey, I talked to this person about a year ago. Let me see if they're still open or if they're open. Let me see what the conversation was, and then let me see, how to address that. So, again, I started going through people I had already talked to before, people who didn't respond, people where the conversation was kind of just left, not goodbye or just nobody said anything back. So it was just kind of in the air and, it just kind of fell off. So I just simply reopened some conversations up. No pressure. I wasn't overthinking it. Just a simple check-in, checking in to see, hey, listen, we talked a while back about such and such thing. Are you still possibly open in this time in your life? To maybe revisit that. And from that, I got somebody on a Zoom yesterday, and they signed up. Hopefully, they're here on this call tonight. I did invite them, so hopefully they made it to the call. But one quick thing, it just really reminded me of something. Um, I think a lot of us, especially as newbies, uh, we get wrong. We send one message, maybe two, and if they don't respond, we move on. Or worse, we take it personally. Um, but here's just the main truth on that. No response doesn't mean no. It might mean not right now. Coach Sonic always talks about that. It doesn't mean no, it just means not right now. Um, but the cool thing about it is all of this is that um instead of quitting early, here's what I've been focusing on. I keep it simple and I keep it consistent. Um, I send an initial message, a light follow up, check in a few days later, then circle back again later, not like right after the next day, or just circle back again later on. That's it. I didn't change the people. I just changed my consistency, and I've been getting some amazing, amazing results. So if you are new like I was, or still am in this industry, or even if you've been here a while, before you go looking for more people, go back, check your messages, follow up, reopen those conversations, because the person who says yes might already be sitting in your inbox. So that being said, I'd like to introduce you all to our teacher tonight, Coach Seymour Greenidge Blake. He is a multiple six-figure earner in the network marketing industry, a six-figure earner here at our Green Organics company at HBN, an amazing teacher, always has really, really great information from life experience, from his network marketing experience, to share with us so that we don't stumble into some of the mistakes that he's made in the past. So, Coach Seymour Greenidge Blake, are you available, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I am available. Thank you for that warm introduction. I
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
very much. I appreciate you very, very, very much. Yourself, Coach Marcus, and all the other coaches, but most of all, the people that's on this call tonight, because you're here because you want change in your life. As you guys know, on my calls on Tuesdays, I kind of give it a break from just talking about the business aspect of things because all week long, that's what we talk about. I try to bring personal development into this. Uh, some of you know that last month was a very, very rough month for me. The first 9 days of March, I lost 6 friends and from Panama. And that kind of brought to perspective a little bit kind of what I want to talk about tonight. Not in that sense, but as I go with the call, y'all will see where I'm coming from. And I hope that like every week I reach to someone tonight because tonight's call is going to be very, very, very important, mostly for the fellas. Not to put the queens away, but for the fellas, because I don't want to push that out right away, but I want you to pay attention to the call. I want you to take notes. I want you to come back later and watch the replay and take some more notes because this is something that we go through, and it's not necessarily just mental health, but it's very important. So before I get started, tonight, earlier today, when I was getting ready, going over my notes and everything for what I was going to teach, I decided to create a song for the theme for what I was going to talk about tonight. And I hope you guys can hear it. I'm going to go ahead and play it. It's 2 minutes long. Might not play the whole 2 minutes, but or maybe I do because the whole mess it's a message that's going to be dealing with what we're going to be talking about here. And if once I start playing, if you can hear it, put a one in the chat. If y'all can hear my music, put a one in the chat for me, please.
This one right here. This ain't just a song. This is a reminder. Speaking as a father, speaking as speaking as a man who understands something most people wait too late to realize. You don't get to. We get so caught up chasing light, chasing gold, chasing everything outside that we forget the people inside our home. Whoa, worked out.
Hey, Coach Seymour is breaking up. We can't hear.
Okay, what I'll do then, I'll post it on Facebook after the call, uh, so y'all can listen to it, or I might even put it in the chat, our Facebook group chat. But the topic of tonight, and I'm gonna go off camera in a little bit, but the topic of tonight is be there while you are here, because one day you won't be. Okay, be there while you're here, because one day you won't be. And with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera so I can pay attention to these notes and bring this message to you guys clearly. Like I said, be there while you're here because one day you won't be. And let me talk to you tonight from a place that most people avoid. And they don't avoid it because it's complicated, but because it's uncomfortable. And that is this: one day you will not be here. Not one day far away, not some abstract future, a real day. A day where your voice is no longer heard in your home, where the chair that you used to sit in is empty. A day where your name becomes a memory instead of a presence. And the question is not if that day is coming, the question is, what are you doing right now before it gets here? Let me give you something real, something raw, something most people don't want to say out loud. If you're not present while you are here, trust me, you will be forgotten when you're gone. That is deep. And not because of out of disrespect to you, not because your family don't love you or they didn't love you, but because you didn't leave anything behind that they could feel. Let me say that again. Not out of disrespect or because your family didn't love you, but you'll be forgotten because you didn't leave anything behind that they could feel. See, this is not about money that you're leaving behind. It's not about success. It's about how many hours. It's not about how many hours you work. It's about your presence, guy. And presence is one of the most misunderstood responsibility of a man. See, a lot of you think that being there means paying bills. You think being there means showing up physically. You think being there means I'm in the house, so I'm doing my job. But let me ask you something. Have you ever been in the same room with someone and they were nowhere to be found? Physically, yeah, they're there. Mentally, they're gone. Emotionally, they're unavailable. And spiritually, they're disconnected. That's how a lot of men are living right now. They're in the house, but they're not in the moment. They're in a relationship, but they're not in the connection of that relationship. Sometimes they're even called father, but they're not present as a father. They're called husband, but they're not leading as one. Let me take this a little deeper for you. See, because presence is not about proximity, guys. It's about engagement. It's about intentional connection. Presence is about making someone feel seen, heard, valued, remembered while you're still alive. Not after you're gone, while you're still here. Let me talk to the fathers first, okay? See, because understand something, if you have children, they are watching you in ways that you don't even understand. They're studying you, not just what you say to them, but how you move. Not just what you're teaching them, but the main how you live. And the children are building their identity based on your consistency or your absence. I am the man that I am today because of the father that raised me. I'm the man that loved hard because of the mother that raised me. These days, we don't have homes where both families are raising kids. Majority of them is single parents, single family. Okay? And here's what most fathers don't realize, guys. Your child doesn't need a perfect father. It needs one that is present. They need you to have all the answers for them. They need you to show up with attention. They need you to impress them. Most of all, they need you to invest in them. So, fellows, I want you to close your eyes for a second because I want to paint a picture for you. And I want you to listen to this seriously. You've been at work all day. You're frustrated. You've been frustrated at work. You're having a bad day. You come home, you're tired because you've been working all day. The frustration, you didn't leave it at the door. You brought it in with you. You sat down, you grab your phone, grab the remote, you turn the TV on. And your child runs up to you with excitement. And that child says to you, Dad, can you watch this? Dad, can you play with me? Dad, look what I did today. And what you say to that child, hold on for a minute. Not right now. Let me relax a little bit. I'm tired. I just got home from work. I'm frustrated. Let me cool down. Let me tone down. And then we'll do that. Let me tell you what just happened. You didn't delay that moment from that child. You actually dismissed the memory because it could have been something that would have been a lasting time. Because in that moment, your child was not asking for your time. That child was asking for your presence. And every time that you push that away, you're teaching them something. You're teaching them that they are not important right now. You're teaching them what I have to say, it can wait. You're teaching them that their excitement does not matter. Fellows, and you might not see this today, but over time, guess what happens? They stop asking you. They stop sharing their day with you. They stop running up to you with excitement. But then one day you wake up and you say, why don't my kids talk to me anymore? And that's because you train them not to by telling them, not now. Now, let me talk to the husbands because this one right here, it is heavy. A lot of men think that love is understood without being expressed. You think, you know what? She knows I love her. But love is not always demonstrated. It becomes, and I love that it's not always demonstrated, it becomes invisible. And invisible love, it feels like no love at all. Let me say that again. Love that is not demonstrated becomes invisible. And invisible love feels like no love at all. See, you're in the house, but you're not engaged. You're sitting next to her, but in reality, you're not even connected. You're on your phone. You're worrying about what happened at work earlier. You're speaking, but you're not communicating. And over time, something dangerous starts to happen, guys. And it's called distance. Not physical, but emotional distance. And that's worse. The kind of distance where two people can sleep in the same bed and feel like strangers. Let me ask you something real right now. When was the last time you looked at your wife and really saw her? Not just glanced at her or acknowledged her, but you saw her. Her energy, or effort, or exhaustion, or beauty, or sacrifice. And I ask that question because I remember growing up, my mom never worked. Her job was at home. She got up early to make sure that breakfast was done for us before we went to school. Breakfast and lunch was prepared for my father before he left for work. And then after we left for school and my dad left for work, the work wasn't over. She had to clean the house. She washed the dishes. She prepared food for dinner. She prepared lunch for us because back then we used to come home from school for lunch. She washed clothes. She did all of that. But you know something that I remembered also? That while my dad was at work and my mom would go in the kitchen to open up the cabinet and grab some pots. You know what was inside that door? A little sticky note letting my mom know he loved her. She go to wash clothes, there was another sticky note there. She go to clean the bedroom, there's another sticky. He left sticky notes all over the house, letting my mom know how much he appreciated her, how much he loved her. That's what I saw growing up. And I remember my second relationship, I was doing some of those things, and my ex-wife said to me, "You're living a fairy tale life." And it was because she was not used to that type of love. So when was the last time that you actually listened without trying to fix something? When was the last time that you spoke just to appreciate? When was the last time you fully present? Well, I mean, was fully present without no distraction. Ask yourself these questions while you're still here, guys. Because let me tell you something most men don't realize until it is too late. Your absence while you're present will create distance that feels like abandonment. And once that emotional gap gets wide enough, you can't fix it with money. You can't fix it with gifts. You can't fix it with apologies. I remember one time I was in the store and I went to I was just walking around the store and I stopped and I got some roses and two cards because I always saw my dad get two cards from my mom with roses or a teddy bear or whatever. He always got two roses. I mean, two cards. So I get up to the register and this lady looked at me and she said, "Somebody's in the doghouse." And I said to her, "Why I got to be in the doghouse? You got flowers and you got a little teddy bear." I said, "Is that what you're used to? When your husband come home with flowers or little teddy bear, is because he was in the doghouse? Why can I not be buying this just because?" Another old lady that was behind the register, she looked at me and she smiled and she said, "That's true love right there. You don't do things because you got in trouble. Do it because you appreciate. When you were first met your spouse or your significant other, you did everything to impress them. So why do we stop after we get them?" See, because I want you to think beyond today, guys. I want you to think about legacy, not the kind of legacy people talk about on social media. I'm talking about real legacy, the kind that lives in the heart of your children, the kind that echoes in the voice of your wife when she speaks about you, the kind that shows up in how your family carries your name when you're no longer here. Because one day, they will talk about you. Not to you because you're gone, but about you. And what will they say? Will they say he worked hard, but he was never really there? He provided, but he didn't connect. He loved us, but we didn't feel it. Or will they say he was there, he listened, he showed up, he made us feel like we mattered? Let me give you something else powerful. See, people don't remember everything you did, but they do remember how you made them feel. Your presence created feelings. Your absence created questions. And an unanswered question turns into emotional gaps. One of my friends that I tried was to call on his birthday on March 3rd. He didn't answer the phone. I tried to find him on social media. It wasn't on social media anymore. And then 3 days later, I got the news. But you know what I remembered about that guy? That when he was around, we were always laughing. Some people said he was a class clown, but he made us laugh no matter what the situation was. You remember how people make you feel, okay? Now, here's where the shift happens, guys, because this is not about gifts, it's about awareness. And awareness gives you the power to change. So, from this moment forward, guys, you have a choice. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. When you walk into your home, be there, not halfway, not distracted, not divided. Be there fully. Put the phone down. Turn off the noise. Look people in their eyes. Listen to the intention. Speak with purpose. Touch with meaning and engage with presence. I remember growing up as a kid. When it was dinner time, the entire family sat at the table and ate. We don't do that no more. They'll come grab the food and they go into their room. They come grab the food and go watch TV to watch the football game. If a game was on and it's time to eat, that TV got turned off. And we sat on the table, we talked, we ate. That's what family does. See, because here's the truth. Most people, they start to miss this. Your family does not need more of your time. They need more of your attention, more of your energy, your presence. And presence is not complicated, it's discipline, it's a decision. It chooses connection over distraction. It's choosing engagement over escape. It's choosing to be where your feet are, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So let me close with this right here, because I want this to sit with you, fellas. I want this to stay with you. And here at Green Organics, we are a family. I want this to follow you when you leave this moment, because one day there will be a last conversation you didn't know was the last one. There'll be a last hug that you didn't realize was the last one. A last moment that you thought you'd get again. And when that day comes, you will not wish you work more. You will wish you scroll more. You will not wish that you scroll more. You will not wish that you were more distracted. You'll wish that you were more present. So be there while you're here. Because one day you're gone. The only thing that will remain is what people felt from you while you were alive. And that is legacy of presence. Back to you, Mary.
Wow. Wow. You all please give Coach Seymour some love in the chat. Um, that just hit so many places with some things I'm experiencing now, having a past, thinking about my parents that just passed, their legacy. It is so true how even if the person that's no longer here had a way about them that you did not want to be, that you didn't like or whatever, it still affects you because choose to be different when, when it's your turn to step into that role. And so I'm just sitting, I was just sitting there like reminiscing, really, because of the things, like I said, the things that I've just been through myself. And hmm, just deep. I hope everybody got some deep thought into this, because it does make a difference how you make a person feel, whether it's helping them feel seen, whether it's helping them feel important, whether it's being annoying. It's, just it's how you make a person feel. And I think it's people always will remember that. They may not remember all you hit that spot on. They may not remember everything you did, everything you said, but they definitely will let you remember, or remember about you, how you made them feel. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that.
You're
Just that
welcome.
nugget, those nuggets. Coach Marcus, Coach Will, do you all have anything to add to this?
It's right on point. I don't really have much to add. I certainly agree. I've been married for 33 years to my wife. So we've been together since we were both 17, 18 years old. And so haven't always been the perfect husband. But for me, after the car accident in 2020, you think you have friends and family. My wife was the only one who was there the entire time, prayed for me, took care of
Wow.
me. No one else really came around, right? I appreciate people in the company's prayers, but if she was the one that held me up, and so from that time there, just from that experience, that really put things in perspective. Meaning that outside of the Most High, nobody comes before her. The business, the money, none of that comes before my wife and before my daughter. My daughter's 23 years old. And I remember when she was little, I never would tell her I was tired. I would come home from work commuting for 3 hours on the road, sometimes in LA. I walk in the door and she was there, want me to play. I'd have to strip down right to take my dress shirt off because she wanted to wear my work clothes and put on my shoes, my work shoes. She's 2 years old. And I remember doing that. And so just keep things in perspective and keep the main thing when it comes to your family, especially the men and women. You guys, I know a lot of you ladies on there have your spouses and your family, and as your business grows, the one thing you're going to have to learn is balance. And remember, nobody is going to care for you the way your spouse does and the way your kids do. All right, so make sure you are that you are so great message, Coach Seymour. Make sure you're present for them because once it's all said and done, once if something, God forbid, happens to your spouse or your kids and they aren't here anymore, you don't want to have any regrets. And so that's all I have to say. Coach Will's on here. He should be able to unmute.
Uh,
Yeah, can you hear
he's
me okay, Coach?
okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, as far as adding to the call, no, the thoughts I did have, I'm gonna just save them for Sunday. But Coach Seymour always does such an amazing job, and I'm one of the more, just to kind of echo what Coach Marcus and Coach Seymour said from a fatherly standpoint. I'm one of the more private people that I know in terms of family. Some of you, not everybody knows. I had a son years ago who passed away at a very, very young age. I don't talk about that a whole lot. If you've been to an event, maybe you maybe have heard me talk about it once or twice. Um, but I was talking to another leader in network marketing yesterday who's coming on board with our team, and I was explaining to them that I was like, well, you just choose some of the most random things to do. Like you're gonna go do this or become world class in this or that. And I said it's all things that I imagine. How do you pick that? Like how do you pick be it jiu-jitsu? How do you pick action? How do you pick, with this basketball now? So these are all things I would have wanted my son to do. These are all things that at his age, I just really feel like he would want to do that. So for me, I got to really try to compose myself. So for me, uh, it bears even more what Coach Seymour said, simply because you don't know when is your last time with anybody, and you will not. Well, I hope you all do, but you may not have an opportunity to love on the people who are really like younger, like Kenya, for example. I don't know if Kenya's on the call or not, but Kenya understands this. Some other people understand this, that just because people are older, it doesn't mean you get them that long. You see what I'm saying? So Coach Seymour's point weighs even more on people like myself, because you might lose somebody at 20 or 19 or 5, and you don't determine that. So the way that you show up in their life is so important. And then let me just kind of shift gears. That's a tough subject for me, but the other part of it is, like currently, I don't do a lot of family stuff on social media. And sometimes people will ask why I do that, or why you don't post your wife, why you post your family all the time, this, that, or the third. Or some of you don't, y'all have never met my daughter. A lot of you, you just got to be around for that sometimes. My point is, I don't do that not because, I don't want to show them off for this, that, or a third. It's because, for example, when my wife married me, she understood life is different dating me than it is marrying me. It's different. Well, why? Because I was in undercover narcotics for the state, for local law enforcement, and for the federal government for a very long time. And what people don't understand about being an undercover narcotics is you're never really out of that, especially if you use your real name. You're never out of it. And if you're at a certain place, like I know when I'm at a certain place, people are like, oh, well, you're typically, oh, well, you're here. No, I was in that place I posted yesterday. Nah, I was in that place, 2 days ago, because you have to protect yourself. But I made a decision to not live my life in fear and nothing like that, or reprisal. A lot of these people, they're going to get out of federal prison at some point, things of that nature. So it's a lot that goes into how I live and how I move, but all of it makes sense when you really take what Coach Seymour said to heart, because you don't know when your last day is. You don't know when your last conversation is. You don't know where your last hug is. You don't know when the last Christmas is, regardless of age of the people that you're talking about, regardless of yourself. So that being said, it was a beautifully stated heart check for a lot of us tonight, what Coach Seymour's called, myself included. It was a really, really big heart check. And Coach, I appreciate you so much. And this is why, another reason why I take events so seriously, that I don't want to miss no events, because I want to hug every one of you jokers. I don't know when it's going to be the time we have an event and we don't see you again. None of us knew that event we had in Dallas, Texas was the last time anybody in the whole company would see Veronica Ortega. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew. They go, oh, I'll make it to the next event. I hope we could. Nobody knew. And that day is gonna come for everybody in some way, shape, or form. So that being said, I see y'all in Dallas, and I want to hug and love on everybody just cause. So thank you, Coach Seymour, for always helping us understand the things in life that are more important than business, things in life that are more important than money. And the business and the money just help us do the things for the people that are the most important things in life. So that being said, thank you, brother. Thank you, Coach Marcus. Thank you, Miriam. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Love y'all and appreciate y'all so much.
Welcome, Coach.
Thank you so much, Coach Will, for that heartfelt. Just you got me. Thank you so much. We love you. All of you all, Coach Will, Coach Marcus, Coach Seymour, you all like my big brothers, really. And I've told y'all this before. But thank you all so much for attending tonight. I hope that you take everything that was said tonight to heart, for your families, for your life, and for your business. We'll see you all next week. Have a great evening.
Thanks, everyone.